Hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Pravajya Pandey, and I am an independent researcher based in Delhi, having completed my bachelor's and master's from the University of Delhi. Now, the paper I present today, titled "Beyond Misinformation: Advaita Vedanta and the Digital Epistemic Challenges." It stems from a very humble but deliberate effort to bring Indian philosophy back into discussion regarding contemporary issues, whether it be regarding artificial intelligence or algorithmic bias or climate change or even the overall digital media infrastructure and toxicity. Uh, what stemmed from a rational, a very practical need has somehow gotten removed from conversation regarding the present contemporary scenario. So, even in my bachelor's and master's and beyond that, when we would approach any contemporary issue, it would first and foremost be from a Western ethical or epistemological or even social political perspective. The Indian traditional perspective or philosophy is being far removed from the conversation. So, this paper is basically an attempt to challenge the marginalization in one way, and it seeks to show how Advaita Vedanta can provide practical epistemic tools for our uh, current crisis of knowing and knowledge in the digital age. So, what do I mean by this epistemic crisis? This epistemic crisis stems from an unprecedented access to knowledge, yet without having much meaning in our lives. And this has somehow become a paradox. We have access to the information, but it does not translate into a better understanding or a greater wisdom in any way. Now, the fact is that we seem to be in the midst of this epistemic crisis because of this disconnect. Um, we all use platforms like Instagram, YouTube, X, TikTok, and they, in a way, prioritize our emotional, um, how would I say, engagement through their emotionally charged content and not through truthful or reflective content. Now, these algorithms used in these platforms are trained to optimize engagement and not, any sort of meaningful connect. And this engagement thrives on our outrage, our fear, our desires, and emotional reactivity. This architecture then fragments public discourse. Instead of bringing people together, it sort of brings us apart. It corrodes our attention span and it creates sort of epistemic echo chambers that we are somehow not able to get out of. Now, what we need now is not just an external reform, which, in my opinion, is what most Western epistemological and ethical perspective give us, but a transformation in the subject of knowledge and knowing as an act. We need to become better knowers, and that requires cultivating some epistemic virtues, which uh, in my paper and in through this talk, I aim to show that Advait Vedanta can uniquely offer as a philosophical tradition. um, so I've already, I think, covered most of it. The platform capitalization, where the attention is prioritized over truth, our epistemic fatigue that leads to our engagement with such platforms in this over-informed and under-enlightened era. The echo chambers, the deep fakes, and the tribalism plaguing our, online engagement. And now let's move on to Advaita Vedanta and its core ideas. So, Advaita Vedanta, being a non dualist school of Indian philosophy, posits that our essential nature or Atma is identical with the ultimate reality, that is Brahman. And the world that we perceive with all its multiplicity in is an illusion or Maya. Now, the path to liberation from such a world is moksha, and that happens through self-realization or through the recognition of the fact that there is ultimately a non-dual self and reality. Now, when we talk about the epistemology in Advaita Vedanta, there is a principle called sadhana chatushtay, and in that contains four principles of vivek, vairagya, samadhi, and the moksha or mumukshatva. Now, in that, the first two principles of vivek and vairagya, which is discernment between the eternal and the transient, and vairagya, that is the dispassion or detachment from such pleasures, they constitute the epistemic virtues that I am going to talk about in this talk, or in this paper rather. So I will also briefly discuss the concepts of Atma Vichar or self-inquiry and Abhed, sorry, or non-duality as sort of corollary advanced practices that can help us resist this digital fragmentation. Now, talking about Vivek and Vairagya, Vivek I posit as a need for discernment. It typically means discrimination between what is real or nitya and what is unreal or anitya. Unreal being transient, ephemeral, something like that. In When we put it in a digital context, it represents the ability to perceive beyond illusions engineered by algorithms. So if I were to explain it through an example, it would be, through the rise of deep fakes. In both the 2020 US elections and the 24 Indian elections, there was a rampant use of AI generated videos that mimicked politicians, spread communal hatred, and manipulated voter behavior. Now, these illusions are not just visual deceptions, they exploit our cognitive biases that we already inherently have. Now, we are inclined to believe what immediately feels like real to us rather than questioning. They engage with our emotions in such a way that we just perceive that as being real. Now, here, Vivek, employing that, or rather deploying that in the engagement with such content, would train us to pause, reflect, and question. Uh, it goes beyond fact checking to take us to a sustained orientation towards deeper reality. This encourages us to ask, is this aligning with what is ultimately true, or what is merely, stimulating and sort of exploiting my reactivity? Now, this brings me to positing Vivek as an epistemic clarity. Uh, Modern cognitive science tells us that people often believe, what is fluently processed or emotionally resonant. Like, just you tell me something and I resonate with it. It sort of engages with me emotionally, and I'll be very inclined to believe that rather than questioning, what it actually is. And that is how misinformation generally spreads. Now, correcting that misinformation would require emotional and cognitive training, and that is what Vivek will help us with. Now, it sort of goes further than that to ultimately transform the knower, not just the knowledge. It replaces, passive consumption with deliberate inquiry, and it encourages clarity and detachment as an ethical sort of virtue. Uh, to practice Vivek would then mean cultivating inner space to discern and not just to jump to conclusions or accept what is presented just because it is emotionally potent or visually convincing. Now, moving on to Vairagya would require us to resist affective traps. If Vivek is clarifying the perception, Vairagya would mean freeing us from being emotionally entangled in what we perceive. In our digital environments, every element is designed for effective capture. Likes, comments, push notifications, or selective algorithmic content, they are not neutral. They manipulate our moods, our desires, our sense of self-worth, our feelings, and our engagement with the overall world. For example, what we generally perceive on platforms like TikTok or Instagram, ultimately generate feedback loops that feed our craving for validation, and where it is very difficult to get out of that loop. There are many studies that show that excessive use of such platforms correlates with certain mental and emotional disorders like depression or loneliness, or even poor body image, self-worth, especially among the more vulnerable population, which would be the teenagers, the children, or someone who already has existing issues. Engaging with such content certainly exasperates that. Vairagya here would not mean indifference. It means deliberate disidentification or detachment from such content. It would say that I can see this image, this post, this video, but I am not governed by the emotions it wants to provoke in me. You need to, it, posits us to take a step back from that and then evaluate what is being presented to us. Vairagya then could work as emotional sovereignty over our own agency. It restores our agency and gives us the capacity to resist compulsive engagement with the content that is constantly thrown at us. It also fosters epistemic humility in a way. So when we detach from craving certainty or affirmation, or the engagement on various kinds of social media platforms, we become more open to ambiguity, to silence, to not knowing something. This is particularly important in digital contexts where fast takes and hot opinions dominate. Like, even if we engage with a content and we are not fully sure about its validity, about whether it is true or not, but it invokes in us certain emotions that we react without thinking, without questioning, without taking the time to engage with it in a meaningful manner. And that is how it creates room for restraint, which can be a deeply countercultural stance in today's attention economy. Just taking a step back can be seen as a counter to what this digital economy actually wants us to believe and to wants us to do. Now, when talking about Atma Vichar, which is a corollary to this conversation, in Advait Vedanta, it would mean as who am I really? Like, Atma Vichar is thinking about yourself. It is one of the most radical practices in in Advait Vedanta. And in today's digital world, which is obsessed with self-presentation, this could be revolutionary. Platforms all around us encourage us to build brands. Who am I online? How do people perceive me? What is my brand? What is my engagement? Becomes a question of performance, of aesthetics, of numbers, going beyond what you truly are. But Atma Vichara sort of flips that narrative. Um, it asks us to question, who am I without these metrics? Am I my profile? Am I my comments, my followers, the engagement, my curated photos? Who actually am I? Now, this practice asks us to turn inward and realize that self is not just a role or a persona. It goes beyond that, and it asks us to witness the awareness behind all those experiences. Now, this is especially helpful when discussing the crisis of the curated self that we have all over social media. I think it was through Instagram's internal research that they found that it this platform specifically exacerbated anxiety among young users. the more the users engaged with the platform, the worse they felt about their lives. Now, this I would say that led to a sort of epistemic alienation, and it went beyond just being emotional harm, but to the extent that it was a confusion about who we actually are without our external validation. Atma Vichar could be taken as a resistance to that. It invites us to reclaim the sense of self that is not defined by external validation or algorithmic curation. It reconnects us to our own epistemic autonomy and our epistemic agency. Now, moving on to the concept of abhed or non-duality, it means non-separation. Like the ultimate insight of Advaita Vedanta is that the knower and the known are not distinct. Digital epistemology thrives on fragmentation between users, between perspectives, between data points, and between all of that combined. But Advaita Vedanta, through Abhed, offers a vision of epistemic unity. It is not just metaphysical or ontological, but it could be extended to epistemology as well. Knowledge in this context is not just about collecting facts, it is about realizing the unity, about dissolving boundaries between the self, the other, the subject, and the object. Abhed here restores a sense of shared being, which could be taken as an antidote to both isolation and polarization. Um, now, when we talk about the digital alienation and Vedantic responses to that, uh, through all our engagements prior with the concepts of Vivek or discernment, Vairagya or detachment, um, and Atma Vichar and Abhed, uh, they could be, they lead us towards the epistemic alienation that we witness and how to heal from it. Uh, Talking about the practical applications of such principles, they could be used in education, in technology, in mental health. For example, in education, Vivek could be used to teach reflective discernment, Vairagya to teach emotional regulation, and Atmavichar or self inquiry to sort of foster introspective literacy. And in technology, various design interfaces that could be, more ethically designed for attention integrity rather than, for exploiting our attention, I would say. And they could be there could be incorporation of friction designs or slow modes that help us pause, help us respect our epistemic autonomy rather than always rewarding reactivity. In mental health, when we move beyond that, it could help us cope with transformation, uh, sort of move out from the digital stress caused by the information overload, and help us practice detachment and self inquiry. And especially for students and for the more vulnerable population to this digital crisis, it would teach us that self worth is not external but rather internal. These are very basic concepts, what I'm telling all throughout that. But the thing is that when we look at these Indian philosophical concepts, they're not really applied in such areas. We think of them to be far removed, but they are such basic concepts. For example, in civic life, the concept of Vivek and Vairagya could sort of help us focus on patience, nuance, on deep listening, and Abhed can ground empathy across disagreements. Now, I won't speak about the rest of the world, but the political climate in India currently is very fraught. And when we engage with others online, we sort of forget the fact that ultimately we're fighting for the same thing, or we're aiming for the same thing. Our methods may be different, but our aims are most of the time the same. These are simple principles that could, help us realize that, and in a way help us regulate our online behaviors, to make us more mindful, more aware, and more sort of in control of our online or digital lives. Now, I would also want to focus on comparative reflections with Western epistemology and Indian epistemology. Now, we've all studied epistemology from a Western standpoint first, I think, and it basically seeks propositional justification of what is knowledge, what is true, what should be believed. And Advait Vedanta, while not contrary to that, I would say complementarily offers direct insight. Where in Western epistemology, given the current digital scenario, would cultivate traits like courage, humility, and Advaita Vedanta would then move beyond that to help us cultivate existential clarity and detachment. Where social epistemology studies group dynamics, Advaita Vedanta would call for self transcendence. And this should not be taken as a replacement, I would say, to Western epistemology. This should be a complementary model that could help us guide our online interactions, behaviors, the way we curate and disperse knowledge in our online lives. Now, to truly navigate the epistemic crisis of this digital age, we must do more than mediate the platforms or teach the digital literacy. It should somehow it should come from within ourselves as knowers as well. So this is why these concepts of vivek, vairagya, atma vichar, or introspection, and then abhed or non-duality are so important, because rather than just aiming to control the external sort of scenarios or the external things, we should try to take a step back and cultivate inner epistemic virtues as well, because ultimately most of the online how would I say, the information, the digital content that is there is not within our controls. You try as we might, we will never be able to control that fully. So why not just take a step back and introspect, and see what we as knowers can do about the knowledge that is out there. And that would solve, it would not solve all of the problems, but it would certainly help solve most of it. So that was my talk. I know that it was very basic, but I deliberately tried to keep it as sort of basic as I could, because I didn't want Indian philosophy can get very how would I say, if technical in some ways, and I did not want it to be exclusionary in any way. So that is why I tried to keep it as generalized as possible. And if now we could move on to the discussion, if anyone has any questions or comments, please, I would be happy to engage now. Thank you.